I was never the favorite child. That was clear from the time I was 6. My younger brother, Liam, was the one who got all the attention. If he got a B in school, my parents clapped and told him how proud they were. When I brought home straight A's, they just nodded and told me to keep it up. No hugs. No praise. Just expectations. As we got older, the gap between us grew. My parents paid for Liam's football lessons, his new phone, his class trips, whatever he wanted. I had to find a part-time job, at 16, just to buy my own clothes. When I asked for help with college applications, they said they were too busy. When Liam asked for help with a science project, they stayed up all night with him. Still, I tried. I stayed quiet, kept working hard, hoping one day they'd notice me too. I got into a good university on a scholarship and moved out as soon as I could. I thought maybe, with time, things would get better. They didn't. When our grandfather died, he left behind a small house and some savings. My parents didn't even tell me about the will. I found out from my aunt that everything had gone to Liam. The house, the money, even some of Grandpa's old tools that I used to help him fix things with. That was the day I stopped trying. I didn't scream or cry. I just stopped answering their calls. I focused on finishing school, got a job in another city, and built a quiet, peaceful life away from them. Years passed. I met my wife, Mia. We got married, adopted a little girl named Ellie, and started a life full of love and laughter. Then, out of nowhere, my parents showed up at my front door. They brought gifts. A teddy bear. A tiny dress. They wanted to meet Ellie. At first, I thought maybe they had changed. Maybe they realized what they had done. But during lunch, I asked them, why now? My mom smiled and said, well, Liam and his wife can't have children. And we've always wanted a grandchild. That's when I knew. I stared at them for a moment, trying to understand if I had heard right. My mom was still smiling, like what she said was completely normal. My dad just nodded along, reaching out to tickle Ellie under her chin. I gently moved her away from him. So, I said slowly, you're not here because you missed me. My mom looked surprised. Of course we missed you. But now that you have Ellie, we have a reason to come around more. It's like she brought us all back together. Mia was sitting beside me, holding Ellie on her lap. I felt her hand squeeze mine under the table. I knew she was uncomfortable too. You didn't come to my graduation, I said, looking straight at my father. You didn't come to my wedding. You didn't even call when Ellie was born. But now, because Liam can't give you a grandchild, you suddenly want to be part of our lives. My dad cleared his throat. Let's not bring up the past. What's done is done. We are here now, and we are trying. I leaned back in my chair. Are you trying for me? Or for Liam? There was silence. My mom looked down. My dad's jaw tightened. You don't understand, he said finally. Liam's going through a lot right now. He needs this. He needs to feel like he's still part of something. So you want to use my daughter to fix Liam's feelings? I asked. My mom looked up then, eyes glassy. We just want what's best for the family. And that's when I laughed. Quietly, bitterly. No. You want what's best for your family. The one where Liam is the center. The one where I was just extra. Ellie wriggled in Mia's lap, her little arms reaching for the cookies on the table. Mia gave her one, brushing her hair gently, as if to remind me what really mattered. I'm sorry, I said, standing up. But Ellie isn't a patch for Liam's life. She's not a replacement. She's my daughter. Our daughter. And you don't get to walk in after all these years and pretend nothing happened. My mom started to say something, but I raised my hand to stop her. You can go now. They stood slowly, clearly not expecting the visit to go like this. My dad didn't say a word. My mom looked like she wanted to cry, but didn't. As the door closed behind them, I sat back down beside Mia. Ellie was humming to herself, cookie crumbs on her cheeks. Mia looked at me. You okay? I nodded, wiping my eyes. Yeah. For once, I actually am. A few days passed. No calls. No texts. Silence. And honestly, it felt peaceful. Mia and I fell back into our little routines, late-night feedings, morning walks with Ellie, quiet evenings with cartoons playing in the background even though none of us were watching. But then, on a rainy Thursday afternoon, a letter arrived. Not a message. Not an email. A real letter, tucked inside an envelope with my name written in my father's stiff handwriting. I stood by the window, holding it, unsure if I even wanted to read it. You okay? Mia asked from the kitchen, drying Ellie's tiny plate. I nodded slowly. It's from my dad. Are you going to open it? I didn't answer right away. I sat down, the envelope still sealed in my hand. For some reason, my heart was racing. I hadn't read his words in years. Not since he stopped replying to my texts when I came out. Finally, I opened it. The paper was thick, like it came from a drawer that hadn't been touched in a long time. His handwriting was neat, careful. I don't know how to talk to you anymore. I don't know what to say without it coming out wrong. But I saw the way you looked at us the other day. I saw it in your eyes. The pain. The anger. The way you held your daughter like she was the only thing in the world that made sense. I used to think I was doing what was right, for the family, for Liam, for all of us. But somewhere along the way, I lost my daughter. And now I don't know how to get her back. I won't pretend I understand everything. But I do know this, Ellie is lucky to have you. And I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner. The letter ended there. No big promises. No asking for forgiveness. Just a quiet truth. I folded it carefully, placed it back into the envelope, and set it on the table. Mia came over, brushing a strand of hair behind my ear. You okay? She asked again. I leaned into her. Yeah. Just processing. Ellie crawled over with her little stuffed duck, holding it up to me like it was the most precious thing in the world. I picked her up and kissed her forehead. And maybe, just maybe, something had shifted. The following week, life moved on quietly. The letter stayed on the kitchen table for days, like it was waiting for me to do something with it. I didn't reply. I didn't throw it away either. Then, on Sunday afternoon, as I was folding laundry and Ellie was napping, Mia looked up from her phone. Liam messaged me, she said, her voice low. I froze. You? She nodded. He said he didn't know if he should text you directly. Thought maybe I could. I don't know, help him figure out how to say things right. I sat down slowly on the edge of the couch. What did he say? Mia hesitated. He said he's sorry for that day. Said he was angry and confused, and that he's been thinking about you, a lot. That didn't sound like the Liam I remembered. My brother used to be all about straight lines, strong opinions, no grey areas. Did he ask about Ellie? I asked. He did. She smiled faintly. He asked if she still drags that stuffed duck around. I couldn't help it, I laughed. She does. Won't let it out of her sight. Mia reached over and squeezed my hand. I think he's trying, babe. Clumsily, but maybe it's real. I stared at the floor, torn between wanting to protect what I'd rebuilt and this strange tug of curiosity. What if he just wants to feel better about himself? I said. What if he just wants me to forgive him so he doesn't feel guilty anymore? Mia looked me in the eyes. Then don't give him that. But maybe, hear him out for yourself. I didn't answer right away. Instead, I walked into Ellie's room. She was still napping, curled into a tiny ball, one hand gripping her duck. I sat beside her crib, watching her breathe. And I started to wonder, what kind of family would she grow up with? Would she know the whole story? Would she ever ask? Would she have the chance to choose who to love, who to forgive, and who to walk away from? I stood up, grabbed my phone, and stared at Liam's contact. My thumb hovered over the message button. Then I started typing. Hey. Mia said you reached out. I think we should talk. I hit send. We met at a quiet cafe on a Tuesday afternoon. I picked a spot near the window, where Ellie could watch the cars go by. She sat in her booster seat, munching on apple slices, Ducky tucked under her arm. Then Liam walked in. He looked older. Not tired, exactly, just worn. His eyes scanned the room until they landed on me. And then on Ellie. He froze. I saw his throat move as he swallowed hard. I raised a hand in a small wave. He walked over, slow, like he wasn't sure the floor would hold him. Hey, he said. Hey, I replied. He Saturday. Looked at Ellie. She's, wow. I smiled carefully. Yeah. She's something. Ellie looked at him, curious, then pointed. Who's that? She asked. I glanced at Liam, unsure. I'm a friend of your mommy's, he said gently. Can I say hi? Ellie shrugged. Okay. He leaned forward slightly. Hi, Ellie. I'm Liam. She studied him for a second, then held up Ducky. This is Ducky. He's sleepy. Liam smiled. Nice to meet you, Ducky. I watched them. Something shifted in my chest, something tight, but not painful. After a moment, Liam looked at me. I'm not here to ask for anything, he said. I needed to see you. Both of you. I nodded slowly. Why now? He rubbed the back of his neck. Because I've spent years pretending I wasn't wrong. I told myself I was protecting you, that I was being strong. But I was just afraid. I thought you made a mistake. But looking at her now, he paused, eyes glossy. You didn't. I didn't speak. Let him sit in that silence. Then he said quietly, I missed so much. Ellie held out a slice of apple to him. You can have one, she said generously. Liam took it like it was gold. Thank you, Ellie. She smiled. You're welcome. And just like that, she returned to watching the street. Liam looked at me again. I don't expect forgiveness. I just want to start somewhere. Even if it's small. I let out a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. Then start here, I said. Start with this moment. He nodded. Okay. And for the first time in a long time, it felt like maybe something broken wasn't just a scar. Maybe it was a doorway. Later that evening, after we got home, I watched Ellie as she colored on the living room floor, humming to herself like nothing big had happened today. But it had. I sat on the couch, my thoughts tangled. Liam had changed, at least, it looked that way. But a few hours in a cafe didn't erase years of silence. I didn't know what to feel. Relief? Anger? Sadness? Hope? Maybe all of them, all mixed up like the crayons Ellie had spilled across the rug. A message came through. It was from Liam. Thank you again. I don't know what I expected, but seeing her, it changed everything. I stared at the message for a long time before replying. She liked you. That's something. Almost instantly. Would it be okay if I saw her again? Only if you're comfortable. I'll follow your lead. I didn't answer right away. Instead, I called MIA. She picked up on the first ring. Hey. You okay? I smiled a little. She always knew. I don't know. It was a lot. Tell me everything. So I did. The cafe, Ellie's apple slices, Ducky's introduction, Liam's eyes when he looked at her. When I finished, there was a pause. Then MIA said, "Sounds like he meant it." "Yeah," I said. "But does that mean I trust him now?" "No. Trust isn't a switch. It's a road. Sometimes it leads somewhere, sometimes it doesn't. But you get to choose if you want to take the first step." I looked at Ellie, who was now drawing little hearts around Ducky. Maybe it was worth a first step. A week later, Liam came to the park with us. I made sure it was a short visit, no pressure, no big emotions, just swings and sunshine. He pushed Ellie gently, careful and unsure at first. She laughed when he made the swing go a little higher, her curls bouncing in the wind. "You're good at this," I said, surprised. He gave me a sideways smile. "Practiced on my niece. She's 8 now. Doesn't want swings anymore. Just phone time and sarcasm." I laughed softly. "Sounds about right." Ellie hopped off the swing and ran to the sandbox. Liam followed. They built a lopsided castle, complete with a moat. She declared him the castle fixer. He bowed like a knight. I watched from the bench, heart a little fuller than before. Still cautious. Still unsure. But open. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough for now. A few months passed. Liam started joining us more often, weekends at the park, quiet dinners, even bedtime stories once in a while. He never overstepped. Always asked first. Always checked in with me before making any promises to Ellie. It wasn't perfect. There were days I doubted, days I felt tired, scared even. But then I'd see the way Ellie looked at him, curious, open, without any of the hurt I carried. And I'd remember that this wasn't just my story anymore. It was hers too. One evening, as we were walking home after ice cream, Ellie reached up and took Liam's hand with one of hers, mine with the other. She didn't say anything. She just swung our hands gently, like we'd been doing this forever. Liam glanced at me, eyes full of something quiet and honest. Not an apology this time. Not guilt. Just hope. And for the first time in years, I let myself believe it might be okay. Not perfect. Not a fairy tale. But real. And that was enough.